Yes, good day to you all, my wonderful children. How are you all doing? How are your parents? Hope you're keeping safe. Hope you're always washing your hands under running water and you're applying alcohol-based sanitizer and you've been going out with daddy and mommy and your siblings wearing nose masks. It is very necessary and very important. In fact, it has now become an offense for you to go out without wearing a protective nose mask. You could be arrested. So adhere strictly to the warning and please protect yourself. I pray we shall not contract this deadly coronavirus ravaging the entire nation of the world. At the end of it all, when it's all over, we'll count our blessings and we're grateful to God for being alive. Okay, I welcome you all once again to another exciting and wonderful class. And today the subject we're looking at is home economics. And the topic is care of the mouth, teeth, and the tongue. Okay, it's very important because when you come across people, the first thing they see first is your face. And the next thing that is going to come at them is the breath of your mouth. So, do you have a good breath or do you have a bad breath? We shall see in this topic as we go further. All right, you can reserve that answer until we go further into this topic. All right, the topic is for week 7. Like I said, it is home economics. The subject is home economics, and the topic is care of the mouth, teeth, and the tongue. And this is for primary 6. Before we go further, it is very important that I let you know the learning objectives, which are the things that you're expected to know or to have learned at the end of this lesson. At the end of this lesson, each of you should be able to mention the functions of the mouth, teeth, and the tongue. And secondly, you should be able to explain how to care for your mouth, your teeth, and your tongue. And thirdly, you should be able to state the reasons why we need to daily take care of our mouth. It's very important. So let's go into the topic in details. The first thing I'll be telling you is the functions of the mouth. What your mouth does on a daily basis. So come with me as I let you into what your mouth does on a daily basis. The following are the functions of the mouth. You talk with your mouth, you eat with your mouth, and you sing with your mouth. Those are the 3 major things that your mouth does on a daily basis. So you talk with your mouth. Number 2, you eat with your mouth. Number 3, you sing with your mouth. All right, let me show you the structure of the mouth. In case you have not taken a mirror to look at the inner part of your mouth, here is an opportunity for you to see the inner part of your mouth. So here is the structure of the mouth. Here is your gum. Now the gum, this is your gum. You can see right there. And this is the hard palate. Hard palate. The hard palate right there. So this is the soft palate over there. You can see that. And this is uvula. This is your uvula. Yes. If you open your mouth, there is this jelly part, dangling part, upper part of your palate, attached to the upper part of your palate. That is there. So that is your uvula. So all of this I'm showing you. After the class, you can take a mirror and look at your mouth to see them and identify them. Or get a mirror as you watch this video, as I'm identifying them to you now. You can also try to identify that in your mouth. So this is your tonsils. These are your tonsils. They are the tiny dots, like a piercing in your mouth. You will see it. That you have it here on the right hand part and on the left hand part. They are the tonsil is in your mouth. So if you take a mirror now and look at your mouth, you also see the tonsils. And here is your tongue. That's your tongue. Here is the labia frenulum. Here is the labia frenulum. Now, if you open your lip wide, there is this attachment, a fleshy attachment that holds your gum, attach your gum to your upper lip. So you see it. If you open your lip very well, you see that. This is your central incisor. Now, your central incisor is the front teeth. You know, this is the lateral incisor, the front teeth. After that, your incisor is your canine to the left and to the right. And this is your oropharynx. That is your inner part. There is this part, the one that leads to your esophagus is what we call oropharynx. And here are your molars. Your molars are the big teeth after your incisors and the premolars. You have it on the upper teeth and the lower teeth. All right, let's go to the functions of the teeth. What do you do with your teeth? The following are the functions of the teeth. You bite not people with your teeth, but your food and your meat. You bite your food and your meat with your teeth. You chew with your teeth. You tear with your teeth. And you grind with your teeth. You don't tear clothes with your teeth. You don't tear paper with your teeth. You don't open bottles with your teeth, else you damage the teeth. You only bite, tear, chew, and grind food, fruits, vegetables, edible things. What we call edible things are things you can eat that will not harm you. So these are the functions of your teeth. So let's now go to the structure of the teeth. What does your teeth look like? So here is what your teeth look like. All right. Here are the incisors, like I showed you. The incisors are the front teeth, okay? Those are the incisors. Upper front teeth and the lower front teeth are your incisors. After that, you have your canine. Your canine are the set of teeth that comes after your incisors, to the right, to the left, on the upper part and the lower part, okay? Then after that, you have your premolars. Your premolars comes after your incisors. The upper premolars to your left and to your right, and the lower premolars to your left and to your right. Then you now have your molars. Your molars are the bigger teeth after your premolars to your right and to the left, upper and the lower part. And then you now have your wisdom tooth. That one is just single one after your molars rather is the wisdom tooth. In this part of the world, Africa, I don't know if it's applicable every other part of the world, but you have that called wisdom tooth. In another structure of the teeth, you don't see the wisdom tooth there, like the ones I just showed you. But this is the wisdom tooth, so you know. And here is your tongue. Don't look at this. This might not look like exactly like your tongue, but at least I'm going to show you another picture of the tongue. And this is the salivary gland. The salivary gland does a very important function or play a very important role. Without the salivary gland, your tongue will always be dry, but your tongue needs to constantly be wet so that the delivering of speech, talking can be made possible. All right. If your tongue gets dry, talking might be kind of difficult. All right. Or also, the salivary gland also helps to wet your food to make it easier for you to swallow. It helps to wet your food to make the swallowing of the food easier, okay? Now, it also makes breaking down of it, because breaking down of food starts from the mouth. Digestion starts from the mouth. Your digestion starts from the mouth. So the salivary gland helps the enzymes that break down food in your mouth to be active. So those are the functions of the salivary gland. And here is the opening of the salivary gland duct. There are some ducts where the saliva secretes from. That means comes out from the salivary gland. So there are tiny dots where you secrete your saliva from. So here is the structure of the teeth and the salivary gland and your tongue. All right. So I'm going to show you now the structure of human teeth. Now, what I've shown you is a picture representation of human teeth that does not really look like a human teeth. Now you have an opportunity to see the human teeth. This is what your teeth looks like. This one I'm pointing to is your incisor. The next after it is your canine. You can see these are your canine. The ones that look I call it vampir's teeth. My own word from the word vampire. So I call it vampir's teeth. The sharp, tiny one. So these are your canine. After it, you have your premolar to the right, to the left, on the upper teeth and the lower teeth. After your premolar, then you have your molars. So this is the human teeth. So quickly, let's look at the anatomy of the teeth. When you talk about anatomy, we're talking about both the internal part of the internal part of the teeth. That's the anatomy. When you're talking of the anatomy of the human being, you're talking of the internal part of the human, not the physical part. The internal part, that we cannot see just looking at the human being. So here is the internal structure of the tooth. One is a tooth. I hope you know. Every other one is teeth. All right. So don't make that mistake. So this is the anatomy of a tooth. The first one, which you often call crown. On the crown part, that is the upper part. Inside the tooth is what we call crown. And here is the enamel. The enamel is what I'm showing you now. Here is the dentine, or what you call dentin. So dentine, here is the gum where the tooth is attached to. Is like the soil. You plant on the soil and the crop germinates. There is this, the soil holds the plant firmly with the help of the roots of the plant, helps to hold the plant firmly to the ground. The same is the function of the gum, helps to hold each of the tooth firmly rooted into the gum. So that's the gum, holds firmly the tooth. Here's the pulp. Now that is some vein-like structure in the tooth. So here's the bone. Have you ever wondered that you have a bone in your tooth or your teeth? Yes, there is bone. You have bone there, yeah. So there's the bone, and that's the root canal, and that's the nerves and blood vessels. Do you actually know that blood flows through your teeth? Yes, blood flows through your teeth. That's where whenever you extract a tooth or you are shedding all your milk teeth, from when now that you're a child, you're going to lose all your milk teeth. When you get to your teenage age, you must have lost all your milk teeth and your permanent teeth would have grown. So when that happens, whenever that happens, blood is going to flow from your mouth, from that part of your gum. That tells you that blood flows around each of your tooth. Okay, so that's the blood vessels. Here is the roots. Yes, here is the root of your tooth or your teeth, and that I told you that is the upper part of your. So that's the anatomy of a tooth. So each of your teeth, I have just shown you the structure of the anatomy of a tooth. So I told you that each of your teeth look like that. Now let's go to the function of the tongue. Let's go to the function of the tongue. The following are the functions of the tongue. One, to taste. You taste with your tongue. You swallow with your tongue, and you talk with your tongue. So your tongue enables you to taste. You can know if something is bitter, or if something is sweet, or if something is sour, by just placing that substance on your tongue. Then your tongue enables you to swallow. Then your tongue enables you to talk. Let's look at the structure of the tongue. So right here is your tongue. Here is palatal tonsils. There are tiny pores or tiny holes on this part. If you open your tongue wide, this is what you're going to see on this part of your tongue, and over here on the right and on the left. So over here is lingual tonsil, the one that makes oration, talking possible. Here, lingual tonsil makes talking possible. And here is foliate papillae. Foliate papillae. Over here is foliate papillae. Here is circumvallate papillae. Circumvallate papillae. And here is filiform papillae. Filiform papillae. And here is fungiform papillae. Now, those are the parts of your tongue. Those are the part of your tongue. So let me show you a typical human tongue. The typical human tongue. This is a typical human tongue. This is what the human tongue looks like from, but I have just shown you the structure and how it's labeled. So finally, let's look at how to care for the teeth, mouth, and tongue. I told you in the introductory speech of this topic that the first thing that comes to people's mind, or first thing that people see when they see you, is your face. Then the next thing is when you open your mouth. What kind of impression do you leave on people when you meet them? Do you leave them with a very good, memorable, long-lasting impression, or an impression that goes, that person has a bad breath? Okay, so it's very important you take care of your mouth so that you talk with your mouth. Now, it's a very, very important organ, vital organ that you shouldn't joke with because you use it every day, especially you teachers, pupils, we communicate with it. So you can't afford to make your mouth smell. In fact, you shouldn't have a bad breath. So how do you take care of your teeth, mouth, and tongue? Make sure you brush regularly. And I recommend twice daily. The reason why you must brush first thing in the morning and last thing at night is this. When you wake up in the morning without brushing, now what happens is you're going to smell, your mouth is going to smell as a result of the activities of some enzymes that come alive when you are asleep. They help to further break down some food particles that are stuck in your mouth, and that goes on when you are asleep. So by the time you wake up in the morning, this gives you bad breath. So you must brush thoroughly your mouth in the morning, and I've taught you in the previous video how you brush your mouth. This up-down movement into the inner part of the mouth, and you also brush the inner part of your teeth, all right? Inner part up here and down here, and you brush your tongue thoroughly. Do not brush your mouth without brushing your tongue. Most of the times when you have bad breath is as a result of you not brushing your tongue. All right. Another one is avoid too much sweet and chocolate, especially before bedtime. Do not take sweet and chocolate before going to bed. And if you must take them at all, make sure the last thing you do after taking sweet and chocolate is brush before bed. And please, don't eat too much of sweet and chocolate. They damage your teeth. They make you have cavity. That means holes in your teeth. And you'll be having shock sensation. When you have holes in your teeth, it will be giving you shock sensation. When you ouch, when you bite things, you have this shock sensation. And when you drink cold water, you have shock sensation. So avoid too much sweet and chocolate. And if you must eat them at all, make sure you brush afterwards. Number 3, rinse your mouth after eating and before going to bed at night. When you eat, rinse your mouth. Take some quantity of water in your mouth and gargle it and do this, gargle it and, spit out the water. This enables the undigested food particles or food particles that are stuck in your mouth to be washed out. And at night, like I said, make sure you brush before going to bed. Then you use floss to take out stock food particles from your mouth. Now, how do you floss? You take a string of thread, you pull it in between your teeth. It helps to bring out food particles that are stuck in between your teeth. So that is how to floss. It could be a tiny string of thread, you floss with it, you use it to bring out the tiny food particles that are stuck in your teeth. That's how to floss. Then number 5, use mouthwash to prevent mouth odor. If you notice that you have bad breath, it can be taken care of. After you brush every day, make sure you use mouthwash. You just pour a little quantity in your mouth. Don't swallow it. You gargle with it. You leave it for about 1 or 2 minutes and you spit it out. You do that in the morning after you brush. You do that last thing after you brush at night before you go to bed. And lastly, make sure you visit dentists regularly. A doctor that specializes in the treatment and diagnosis of mouth, teeth, tongue-related diseases and infection is a dentist. So make sure you visit the dentist regularly. So please do take care of your mouth because it's a vital organ in your body that is used to express communication, oral speaking. You do it, in fact, you can't do without using your mouth on a daily basis, so you can't afford for it to smell. All right, that brings us to the end of today's class. We have talked about functions of the mouth. The mouth is used to talk, used to eat, used to used to sing. We've talked about the functions of the teeth, used to bite, used to grind, used to chew. We talked also the functions of the tongue, used to swallow, used to talk, and used to taste. All right. So I've also taken you through how to take care of your mouth, tongue, and teeth. All right. Until I come your way again, I remain your humble and caring teacher, Mr. Ogunlaro. Make sure you go online to access the lesson notes of this topic that I've just treated, and make sure you read your books, because another test, second test, is coming up shortly, and you shall be writing your examination online come August. And don't forget, your common entrance is still on the way, and you don't want to be caught unawares. So please read, read, and read. Take care of yourself. Regards to your parent. Make sure you keep safe by always washing your hands under running water. Apply alcohol-based sanitizer, and if you must go out with your parents, make sure you wear protective nose mask. It's an offense now in Lagos State for you to go out without a nose mask. Please don't be caught by a law enforcement agency without a nose mask on. All right, bye. See you another time.